But first, a political assassination of a father, of a young American, a Christian, an orator, an intellectual, a conservative powerhouse, a rising star, perhaps even a future president. Charlie Kirk's cruel murder at just 31 has shocked the world. It is deeply heartbreaking. Here's the moment in bright sunshine with Kirk in his element that the horrific public execution unfolded. And just a warning, the footage is distressing.
Counting or not counting gang violence? Great.
Oh my God. Go, run, run. Whoa.
It's an act of violence that none of us will ever forget. It changed the world as we know it. A close friend of the president's, Donald Trump, addressed the nation, saying it was a dark moment for America.
To my great fellow Americans, I am filled with grief and anger at the heinous assassination of Charlie Kirk on a college campus in Utah. Charlie inspired millions, and tonight, all who knew him and loved him are united in shock and horror. This is a dark moment for America. Charlie Kirk traveled the nation, joyfully engaging with everyone interested in good faith debate. His mission was to bring young people into the political process, which he did better than anybody ever.
The president also said that radical left political violence had taken too many lives. He said the violence needs to stop, and he also called for an end of the use of violent words.
It's a long past time for all Americans and the media to confront the fact that violence and murder are the tragic consequence of demonizing those with whom you disagree day after day, year after year, in the most hateful and despicable way possible. For years, those on the radical left have compared wonderful Americans like Charlie to Nazis and the world's worst mass murderers and criminals. This kind of rhetoric is directly responsible for the terrorism that we're seeing in our country today, and it must stop right now.
And he said Charlie was the best of America. Charlie Kirk was starting his American comeback tour at Utah Valley University. He took questions from students engaging in civil debate and conversation. He was always courteous and respectful. About 20 minutes into the event, he was in conversation with an audience member speaking about gun violence. And this was the question right before he was shot.
Do you know how many transgender Americans have been mass shooters over the last 10 years? Too many. Do you know how many mass shooters there have been in America over the last 10 years? Counting or not counting gang violence?
And literally a single moment after that, he was shot. The jarring juxtaposition of a vile, horrific murder, shutting down the peaceful, compassionate, and democratic discussion of ideas. The bullet was reportedly from a shooter on top of a university building about 180 metres away. The killer is still at large. And here's a description of how it happened.
Charlie Kirk was sitting under the small tent you can see at the bottom of the screen there. He was in conversation with someone from the audience, asking him questions about gun violence. Then you hear one single shot ring out. It appears, from what we have heard, now confirmed by law enforcement, to have come from a high-powered rifle. There is video of Charlie Kirk sitting at the table underneath that tent. He reels backward, obviously hit by the bullet. His right hand then goes up to the left side of his neck, and you see blood gushing out as Charlie Kirk falls backward and to his left. And then, as you see in those pictures, so many people, terrified, start running for their lives.
It's estimated that there were over 3,000 people there to see him speak at Utah. Charlie Kirk was committed to dialogue, to the debate in a peaceful way. It's what he said was needed to avoid violence. And yet he was murdered while engaging in civil discourse. And here he is explaining why the peaceful contest of ideas is just so important.
I go around universities and have challenging conversations, and because that's what is so important to our country, is to find our disagreements respectfully, because when people stop talking, that's when violence happens.
I've never seen someone do this.
Well, it's a growing trend because people like me are facing violence, assaults. The left. Yes, the campus Antifa. I've been stormed out of restaurants. I've been assaulted publicly, multiple death threats.
Okay, so what's your goal in all this?
There's more people that agree with me than some people would actually believe, and they come out of the woodwork when I do stuff like this. We record all of it so that we put it on the internet so people can see these ideas collide. When people stop talking, that's when you get violence. That's when civil war happens, because you start to think the other side is so evil and they lose their humanity.
And Vivek Ramaswamy said that Charlie Kirk was more committed to peaceful, open dialogue with those who disagreed with him than anyone else he knows. And so this today, yes, a murder, but also an attack on free speech, on American values, on mainstream conservative ideals. And seeing as Charlie Kirk was so close to the president, it's an attack on the Trump administration too, and on the leader of the free world. Friends described Charlie today as an optimist, a visionary, positive, and with a hopeful heart. He was brimming with enthusiasm and love for his country. He lost his life while doing what he loved and what he believed was right.
Charlie had the spirit of our founders, full of energy, passion, conviction, and an unrelenting pursuit of happiness. Charlie was always happy. You never saw the guy down. He loved what he did, and he never stopped working and fighting and pushing and persuading.
And Fox News host Laura Ingraham spoke of her personal friendship with Charlie, and it was quite moving.
I said it with Brett earlier, and he and I were both crying in our offices and embracing. A lot of people around here are. The word came to me, irreplaceable. He was irreplaceable. He was murdered because he was so effective at what he did. And I believe that no one other than Donald Trump himself in recent memory has had a more profound effect on the political thinking of young Americans than Charlie did. The threats on his personal safety were well known. He knew them, but he wouldn't stop because he believed that being with people in public, especially on college campuses, talking with conservatives, debating liberals, it made conservatism fun and exciting again. And he died today, taken by an assassin's bullet, doing what God put him on this earth to do.
Fighting against cancel culture at college campuses, Charlie debated issues of gender, national security, drug use, and religion. He called it "Prove Me Wrong." And gender was a topic he often spoke about, where he asked students to answer what should be a simple question: what is a woman?
What objectively is a woman?
Just anyone who believes they're a woman.
No, without using the word woman.
It's just a person who believes they're a woman. I mean, what's wrong with that?
The inability to answer the most fundamental, obvious biological question, what is a woman? This is not troubling. Like, it's so simple, it's so obvious. Last chance. Can you tell me what a woman is? Are you a woman?
Why are you so hateful?
I asked you what a woman was. That's not hateful.
And of course, they went viral. And here's another one of those typical interactions.
So what is a woman?
Dude, I don't know. That one's hard. I know that's your line. And I think that's hard to say, man. I don't know.
But
what do you think is a woman?
Well, a woman is an adult female with XX chromosomes. It's not difficult, right?
I disagree. I don't think so.
But if you disagree, why? But then what is your alternative?
Oh, I don't know.
So you disagree with you disagree without an alternative?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, I mean, I think that's a fair thing to say.
But you disagree, but you must have some opinion. What is your opinion of what a woman is?
I really don't know.
He also fought against radical Islamism. He argued against Hamas propaganda, and he defended Israel.
What is Israel doing exactly? Tell me in detail. Where is it happening? War crimes, really? How?
What do you mean how? They're killing little kids, man.
Well, hold on. Killing kids. You mean wait, they drop leaflets before they bomb in Gaza? They warn civilian corridors before they ever engage militarily. They do emergency medical procedures for any person in Gaza that might need it. Do you understand what's actually?
They're doing good, but it's okay for them to do bad. Then that's what
it's called war.
Saying.
Okay.
He was also deeply committed to Christianity and morality. Some even saw him as a future president.
This is a political assassination, Laura. I believe that Charlie Kirk would have been president one day. I believe that in my heart of hearts. This was a political assassination because Charlie Kirk was doing the impossible. He was changing the hearts and minds of young people across this nation en masse, and there was something truly, truly powerful about his presence.
And Charlie Kirk created Turning Point USA. It's a movement to empower and energize young conservatives, involve them in the political cycle. He had a high-rating podcast, The Charlie Kirk Show, and he was in frequent contact with both the president, but particularly the vice president. Lara Trump today said that he did an enormous amount to help Trump win.
I don't think it can be overstated. I don't know that Donald Trump would be president right now without Charlie Kirk.
And after a lot of work, here's the emotional moment that Charlie Kirk found out that Donald Trump had won the election.
Donald Trump is president of the United States. We've got our republic back, folks.
Let's go.
There it is.
Everybody should remember this moment. Look, I'm gonna echo Charlie from earlier. Remember where you were when this happened. Remember where you were when you realized that the Uniparty and all of these, just the establishment, you said it's time to actually participate. And look what you guys have done.
A 31-year-old father of two, married to Erica, his promising full and big life cut short, needlessly, senselessly. And Charlie leaves behind a beautiful family. Charlie Kirk was an intellectual who connected with individuals directly, but he was also world famous, and people young and old, powerful and voiceless, are in deep mourning today.